Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to make some venison meatballs. I have pasta that I want to make for dinner tonight, and instead of going and buying meatballs from the store, I figured we would use some of the ground venison that we have from last year's deer. We definitely eat a lot of venison in this house since we are avid hunters, so it's always really great to be able to just pull meat from our freezer and know exactly where it came from. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat my oven to 350. I'm going to take my cast iron skillet and place it in the oven. Okay, so now that we have the oven preheating, we're going to go ahead and take a pound of ground venison. I've had this thawing out in the fridge. It was actually kind of an ordeal to get this. A bunch of these bags had frozen together. So to safely get them all apart, it was a project one day. They did not break apart just by throwing on the ground, which was unfortunate. Oh well. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to set that off to the side. Wash my hands real quick. I love that Ivy keeps putting herself in these videos. Okay, so just gonna grab my little compost pail because now I'm gonna go ahead and put in some eggs. So we're gonna use 2 eggs. Go. And then I'll take those out to my compost bin later. There's another one. Awesome. I'm actually not going to use breadcrumbs. I thought I had breadcrumbs. I do not. So we're just going to wing this one and see how it turns out. Lots of hand washing involved with this recipe. That's okay. Set those off to the side. And then I've got this leftover Parmesan in here. We actually freshly grate Parmesan every time we use it. And then any extra goes in an old container that we have. So I'm just going to dump this right in there. Perfect. Let's see. Next, let's go with some chopped onion. Perfect. And do I have a measuring? Let me get a measuring spoon. These might be my favorite, these all-clad measuring spoons. I did not go out and purchase these. These were given to me. I would not have been able to afford them. Let's be real. Okay. Let's shake this up. There we go. Yeah, that's better. And we're just gonna do 2 tablespoons of this, of chopped onion, dried chopped onion. Ivy's barking at something, or growling at something. Pyrenees, I'll tell you, there's always something. That looks good. And we're going to go ahead and use a tablespoon of Italian seasoning next. Awesome. Okay, now I'm going to use this savory wild game seasoning that I have from Backwoods. We'll just scoop. Actually, we're just gonna scoop out some of that. Awesome. Maybe a little bit more. There. And then we'll just grab a little salt and pepper to taste. It's probably good. And if I can open this one is such a pain. There we go. Awesome. And now we're going to mix it all up. Oh, my leg just died. That's sad. Oh, my battery is running low. Let's stop this then for a second. Ivy, stop. There we go. Back at it. I had my light running off of a battery pack, and well, that battery pack no longer had any power to it, so it's okay. We went ahead and found a charger plug-in. Whatever. Alright, that looks pretty good. So, I didn't think this part through. That's okay. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and roll the meatballs. It's probably a little big, so we'll just take that apart a little bit. There we go. I think that looks better. And I'm just placing these on wax paper for right now because my oven is preheated and they're just going to go right into my cast iron pan. So. You know, I won't lie, for the longest time, I never had venison. And then I did finally have it. Was a really big fan of it. And then we went ahead and we got a deer 2 years ago. And we didn't have a spot to process it. And then we bought this house and we didn't have a spot to process again. So we've been using this guy who there is no hang time. Like, you know, he just processes like that day. So everything's really gamey because you still have all that blood and you don't have, you know, you're not letting it hang. And I was like, yeah, I don't really like, he messed up a bunch of stuff too. Like, we got more deer back than we gave him to process. Because we got like a doe. This was way more than the size of this doe. And, you know, it wasn't that great quality, but really, Alex was like, yeah, well, whatever, we tried. I'm like, yeah, let's make sure we don't use him again next year. So then, following year, he gets this really nice buck. And that's who this guy is. You know, we're so proud of it. Like, definitely mounted. You know, we've got a wall mount, which should be done soon. Pretty excited about that. And then what happens? But again, there's no hang time. So all of this is just really gamey tasting. And the guy actually, he was like, yeah, I'll cape it. It was like an extra $15 to cape that deer. We're like, perfect. Bring the cape over to the taxidermist. And and I mean, it was frozen. So we had to clean out our freezer before we could even get them over there. So we put it in the freezer to make sure nothing got gross. And by the time they unthawed them, they're like, this is the worst caping we've ever seen. There were holes everywhere. They had to Frankenstein that dude back together. Like, he was gorgeous, and they were like, it looks like he was dragged behind a truck, possibly run over. We're like, well, he definitely wasn't. Like, what are you talking about? So, this year we're now actually trying to solidify some land to hunt on. And we will not be using that guy. That is for certain. We just have to build some kind of antler on our shed so that the dogs can't get to a deer, because you know they will. And yeah, have it so that we can process our own. Making more meatballs than I thought it would. I probably have a little bit more than a pound of venison, in all honesty. Oh well. Should have grabbed my bigger pan though. Whoops. Again. Oh well. You'll have that. We can make that one a little bit bigger. But yeah, so when I eat venison now, because these are so gamey, the past 2 years we've had, I can't just have like a steak on the grill anymore. I have to have it absolutely marinated and just cover up that gamey taste, because it's just too gamey for me. But it's still delicious, and I still eat it. Okay, so I've got all my meatballs nice and rolled. We'll just move this out of the way. Okay, and then we're just gonna go ahead and start filling up our cast iron skillet. I'm really excited because we're gonna be building a rack over here for cast iron. We definitely use it a lot in this house. 100% my grandparents admit, if it ain't broke, why go buy new ones? Okay. Awesome. So I'm just gonna slide these a little bit closer. There we go. We'll just put them in. I actually fit in way more than I thought I would, so I'm pretty happy with that. We'll just pop these in the oven. And we're gonna let those bake for 20 to 30 minutes. All right, so our meatballs are done. We're gonna grab them out of the oven. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's our meatballs. And I'm going to transfer them so they can cool, scrape out the fats and everything that's in there so we can cook the rest of our meatballs. So I just got my silicone spatula here. That way I don't have to worry about scraping up anything, or burning anything. Ooh. Almost got them all. Oh no, we were doing so good. And then tonight we'll just be popping those into our sauce. I'm just going to scrape this out real quick. And we'll just put the rest of these in here and cook again. So I would say that the next time I do this, I would absolutely grab one of my larger cast iron skillets, like that guy right there. Because then I wouldn't have to do 2 rounds of this, but oh well. Okay, we'll just pop these in the oven. And now we're on to round 2.